All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Mayday, mayday. We're
I can
trying
hear
to.
you.
I know I can hear me. You want to make sure they can hear me too. All right. Hello, hello. Are we out there?
Who are they and
Are
how
we
did they
out
get
there?
in here?
Yes, we are. Bing. We have hit the screen. Hello, everybody. It's Phil and Oscar again on Focus on You. Woohoo! All right. Today, our subject is being a better you. And we all know that we are up for improvements, we are up for upgrades. First, I'm going to introduce myself, and then Oscar is going to introduce himself, and we'll get started. So, my name is Philip Reed, and I just stammered there. And I'm the president of Phoenix National Business Group, we have a company that encourages entrepreneurs and partners with them in order to make their business better. And our motto is when you win, we win.
You went.
And so we win together by pursuing our goals and dreams together on this platform. And so a partner on this team is Oscar De La Rente. No, his name is Oscar Capel. Go ahead, Oscar. Introduce
Um,
yourself.
like I said, I grew up in the Bronx, so I'm Oscar de la Rent Control. So that's a totally different line of clothing. Oscar Capella from Capella and Associates. I am a new entrepreneur, and I'm here to work with Phil and see what we can do together to make a rising tide raises all ships. So we're working together to see what we can do to help everybody else out. So you guys can be in a beautiful office like we are.
Oh yeah, right. We connected our offices from New York and New Jersey, and we just went together and we bonded them together, and there it is. Now we are like one room,
Now you're
right,
stuck with
Oscar?
us. Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about a subject I think that is very personal, and it's just being a better you. Because sometimes we are up for improvement, we're up for upgrade. And so, our first part of talking about that is identity. Okay. Uh, how do I think about myself? What do I think about myself? And am I worthy of being better? Am I worthy of getting a promotion? Am I worthy of getting a raise? How do we see ourselves? So, Oscar, let's start this off. Go ahead.
Sure. So the way I look at it is look at it the same way with something that we all know something about a computer. A computer has programs and it runs that program. It's either going to run Windows or it's going to run the Apple operating system. So we're running that system. So how do we see ourselves? How important do we think we are? What contributions are we making? How did we get to where we are? And that is what I see as where are we now? How do we feel about ourselves?
Well, we
That
are
is
a result. We are where we are is an evident result of how we think, right? I mean, it's like you went to school, they taught you English class, and then, and you took math and everything, but nobody really gave you an identity in school. You developed your identity based on what your first, I mean, principle, what your parents may have thought of you, if you had your parents around, right? And if you didn't have your parents around, then you went with what your friends thought about you, or what your, what branding, social branding you fall under, So it's like depending on your personality and how fight or flight kind of person, you are built up based on literally what people thought, and so if you're a fighter, you're going to fight it. You're going to be like, I can't, you already kind of had this inside fight in you that says, I can't believe what you're telling me, and you fight your way out. But not everybody has that fight,
yeah.
and so it's like in order to fit into our social circle, we fit into the brand that they put us in. And it may be you, it may not be the real you, but because people that you trusted said it, then that you're like, oh, that must be it.
Well,
You know?
I'm trying to find something I posted a little while ago, which says, "Don't shrink." There it is. Stop shrinking to fit places you've outgrown. Yeah, I didn't. Again, I don't make this stuff up. I just swipe it from everybody else,
Who said
and
that?
bring. I don't know. It's a little tiny. It's something I copied from somebody somewhere. But I'm like, this is speaking to me. Stop shrinking to fit in places you've outgrown. But before we get to outgrowing,
Mhm.
are we shrinking because we were told to shrink, not to grow? Don't stand out. The old crab bucket scenario, or if you
Mhm.
stick your head above the crowd, that's how you're going to get hit with a tomato because you've stuck your head about the crowd.
Right.
Society has made mediocrity the way we need to be.
Norm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
norm.
mediocrity is the norm. Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
at me. I did something. I'm successful. I'm rich. Like, you're rich. That means you're exploiting people. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know that. We're always looking, like I said, through the tinted glasses of the way we were brought up. I mean,
Mhm.
how many of us, money doesn't grow on trees? We can't afford that. Stop thinking about that. That's not going to happen. Oh, if only. How many if onlys, have we heard in our
Yeah.
life? Oh, Dad, I want to get this. Well, if only we had the money, we could get it for you. So
Right.
where is that coming from? Where is this? I forgot who the writer was. Used to call it stinking thinking.
Hmm.
Who put that in your head, and why? And
Why is
again,
it there?
why is it there?
I've really asked myself that question a lot. Is why do I have certain thoughts? Right? Where's this thought coming from? And I think the first part of fighting or improving or upgrading yourself is challenging the thoughts that brought you to where you
Right.
are. Right?
That's the BS. Can I
That's
say
right.
the words out in your thing?
I don't know.
The BS is your belief system.
Yeah, that's
All
it.
right. Yeah, I made you sweat on that one. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah, I was like, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Oscar? What are you talking about?
so
Yeah,
it's your belief system. How did you grow that belief system?
right.
And one of the people that you guys that know my story, I went from being an employee after 38 years of being a dental technician, thrown into having to fend for myself and become an entrepreneur. So I had to really go back and say, okay, how did I get here? What did I not know? And what should I have known before I've gotten to this situation? Looked at a lot of programs. Some of your viewers have probably heard the name of Bob Proctor. He's
Hmm.
been around forever and ever. He's got a video session that they used to charge for, but now it's available free on YouTube, called "You Were Born Rich." It's
Hmm.
very, very dated. It's great. The cadence. I love the clothes. When you see the hairstyles and the clothes, you just crack up. But if you try to get past that and listen to the content, and in a nutshell, he says our operating system, whether it's Microsoft or Apple or whatever, was put in our head when we were 7 years old. And he quotes the Jesuits that said, give me the child, and at 7 years old, I'll give you the man." So they knew about it. So basically, that is our subconscious. That's our operating program. A
Hmm.
7-year-old's operating program is what an adult is walking around with.
Hmm. It's
So,
like I'm a Bible scholar, so I love reading the Word of God. And but you know what? It's like there's a scripture that says that as a man thinketh, so is he.
right.
Right? And so it's like when you think about your foundation, I think about it like a tree, right? You have foundation thoughts that are planted in your mind. Some of them are images, some of them you received them when you were even a baby. They were
Right.
like your parents. Either you've received love or all you experienced in your life was violence, you know. And so you grow up and you're wondering, why am I so on edge? Why am I angry all the time? And I think the environment that you're in really contributes to who you are personally.
Right.
Because if you grow up in a certain environment that is constantly edgy, and that's like, friction is constant, then you find yourself thriving off imbalance,
Right.
and you can't understand why am I constantly in this struggle to get out of this box I'm in,
And that's a great thing. When you say, why am I? When you say that, it's really funny because you're now watching yourself as a third person.
Wow.
So when you say, why am I? It's like, well, who is the intelligence that's looking at me?
Right.
So
Wow. That's great.
Let's
That's
go up a
great.
level,
Yeah. Let's
and
go up
it's
a
like,
level there. Yeah.
I'm basically watching myself going, that I shouldn't be doing that. But
Right.
that 7-year-old programming doesn't let us walk into that spot to say why I'm doing that. And and again, with what I was speaking about earlier, in that 7-year-old mentality is our subconscious.
Mm.
So we are basically one big skin covered petri dish of chemicals. So we can change. Yeah,
It's in a petri dish.
We're a
Oh, my
petri. We're a
goodness.
skin colored petri dish of chemicals, and like a thermostat, we're running
Mm.
at a certain chemical balance.
Mm-hmm.
If you're always angry,
Right.
that's the chemical makeup of your body. And the subconscious wants to stay steady on course because
Mm-hmm.
our million-year-old brain says, we're going to take that path because we've
Right.
always taken that path. Now I'm going to say, hey, we got to take this path. And your subconscious goes, there might be a tiger there. We've never been down that path. We're going to continue down this path.
Mm-hmm.
So that chemical storm in your body that says, I'm angry, 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 when you're saying, I'm going to think happy thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
your subconscious, we've never been down that path. We don't want
Yeah.
to change our body chemistry to have happy thoughts. Let's keep staying with the angry thoughts. And you were saying about growing up with problems, but they did a study on rats and found out that you carry 3 generations of problems in your genes. They took
Really?
rats. Yeah, they took rats. I worked with rats when I was a kid volunteering at the hospital. So I worked with
Mm-hmm.
them. And one experiment they did was, rats I know love peanut butter. They will do anything for peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
So they would give rats peanut butter and then shock them.
Oh, wow.
And give them peanut butter and shock them. It took 3 generations of rats for the rats to go back to peanut butter. So that second generation did not go to the peanut butter because of the genetic programming of the mother. So you want to talk about, and the more you look in, the deeper we go down this rabbit hole, the crazier it gets. And you're like, I'm like, why am I thinking this way? What was grandma doing? Oh, grandma was working through the depression. So, we have depression.
Potatoes,
right.
Your water and potatoes were dying, right?
So we're given this scarcity mentality in our genes.
Mm.
And running a 7-year-old program, a program of a 7-year-old, we accept it. So what do we do?
I read something the other day too that said that even in our school system, it's so dated.
Yes.
That we're still learning the same way they learned in the early 1900s.
Right. And
1800s even. And it's like, why are we still using a system that was horse and carriage? I mean, we have taken flight. We're in the air. We're flying now. I mean, across the world.
Right.
And we still are teaching in an environment that is limited.
All right. So you want to go down that rabbit hole for a while?
Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go.
At the turn of the century, 90% of the people in this country were entrepreneurs. They were farmers. They were, whatever they did, they were farmers or they worked for themselves. Then the Industrial Revolution came around.
Mm-hmm.
And they told the school system, listen, we need to produce really good workers. So we are not going to teach entrepreneurism. We're going to teach people to push the buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And as George Carlin said, teach them to be smart enough to push the buttons, but not to ask why. So we are not taught self-reliance. In school, you get a D, you're like, you go to the back, you get left back, you get, You get the, if you do pass, you go into the slower class next year. So don't fail. Don't, you know, you can't fail. You can't. So that idea of being an entrepreneur, you have to fail. That is part of the course. Try this. The light bulb didn't work. Did Edison said, "Oh, yeah, I'm not going to try this again." It,
Right.
you know, the first 9,000 times didn't work. I'm pretty much giving up. You know, imagine if your parents said, "Listen, you know, you tried that walking thing for about 6 months. It's not working. I'm just going to get you a wheelchair, push you around your whole life." It's like,
right.
look at the school system. What are we learning? I mean, like I said, I had to learn, you know, how to be an entrepreneur after I lost my job. There is no entrepreneurial schools out there. So, you know, it is clashing with the status quo. We need all these workers. We need, and now what's going on? You're a great worker. You know, you've trained your whole life to be a toll collector. Now what? There are no toll collectors left. All right, I'm going to study to be a banker. Now you have Ally Bank. It's all online. So, you know, we're in the gig economy, not because, hey, that's a cool thing to do. We're in the gig economy because we're forced to be in the gig economy.
Right on.
Somebody said there's a tidal wave coming. You're either going to ride the wave or you're going to get caught in the undertow. So I'm looking to ride the wave.
Yeah.
I'm looking to get a power boat to get through the waves. I'm not going to get caught in the undertow. And to do that, you have to fight your whole life of a 7-year-old telling you what to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember being in 3rd grade. That was the 2 toughest years of my life. I'll wait for that to sink in.
Well, your name was Oscar, so you know that was the beginning of it. Welcome, everybody. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Phil and Oscar on Focus on You. Today, we're talking about how to be a better you. So, you know, as you're tuning in, please post your questions. And next week when we come on, we will share some of the questions we had and try to give the best answers possible. I want to thank our sponsor, Allstate, Thomas Stees. Thank you so much for being a sponsor for our programming this month. Really appreciate that. And please, as you see our sponsors, please share these videos, share with your friends, share with your loved ones, right, so that they can be promoted as well. So yeah, let's continue on the subject of your identity, right? Yes. So you know, if our schools are set up to teach us a certain thing, and then you know, life gives you a whole other lesson, right? Shouldn't we have more lessons on life rather than just subject titles that don't, you know, when you get older, they may not even apply to your life. Right. Shouldn't there be something that says, here is, identify yourself with, you know, things in life, and then teach you something as far as a skill set. You know, even though they work hand in hand, it's like, you know, we have to learn how to live. Right. You know, there's aspects of life that school is not enabling you for. And that's why a lot of people lose when it comes to the life part. If you really want to go down the rabbit hole, go to Google and look up, what is it? The dumbing down of America, what the school system has done. And there are people there that will be talking from the inside, whistleblowers saying, hey, the system is not set up for us to win. The system is set up to have really good people following directions. So that is, and again, like Phil said, this is our pilot shows here, and we're just shooting from the hip. There's no script. It's just rambling thoughts as they come up, and these are things sense. That look. Now let me tell you, right? These are things that everybody's thinking about it. You know, because you have your kids. They're growing up in a world right now where everything seems so topsy-turvy. you don't seem to be able to trust the information you're getting from your government or from, from your media. I mean, it used to be you watch the news and you're like, that's it. That's the news. You hear from your president, president said it. That's got to be it. Right. Now you're like, let me Google what he just said.
Right. You're too young to remember Walter Cronkite.
What? Are you kidding me? I remember Walter. In fact,
you watched the reruns.
I probably did. But, I was talking to my wife about him the other day. First, the man on the moon. He was able to report that. Right. So it's like you have to. These are things that we are so changing that truth, honesty, loyalty, trust. These are terminology. Loyalty is a terminology that is just out the door.
Yeah.
Because it's like it comes right around the subject line of trust. It's like, who can I trust? Who can I, who's telling me the truth? I mean, if I have to Google everything that my leaders are telling me, then that means I can't trust you. I can't trust the information I'm getting because it seems as if everybody's biased. Either Fox is biased or CNN is biased.
And they're all owned by the same people. So are they doing that on purpose? Like, we're going to have one side of the sheep fence fighting the other side of the sheep fence. Mm-hmm. This way we can do whatever we want when nobody's looking. I'm a political agnostic. I do not believe there's a politician out there looking out for my best interest. Considering what I've seen is your political campaign is being funded by some oligarch that is going to put in a lobbyist to write a law to benefit him once you get in office. And when you get out of office, then you get a cushy job with that oligarch for 3 times what you're making in office. So I don't see how it's benefiting Joe Lunchbucket. It's like, you're not looking out for my interests. You're looking out for the guy funding your campaign.
So let me ask you this, right? So we're talking about, upgrading your identity, right? Being a better you. So it's like, if you have all these things that we are coming up against mentally, trust factors, things like that. For the person that is trying to find their way, right, in all this stuff, it really comes to changing the information you have within yourself, right? It comes to, I can't let what is happening out here define who I am in here. Because there's chaos out here doesn't mean I need to feel chaotic. Right. Doesn't mean that I need to feel out of place. I am my own person. I am my own identity in this whole thing. And so you have to bring yourself to a place where you have a peace in your mind and in your heart that this is not define me. It's like, I came up with a motto the other day that said, "You matter." Right? We have the Black Lives Matter movement. Everybody's like, all lives matter. What is this common sense stuff?
Right.
Why are we majoring in the minors?
Yeah.
We should all be at a place that if we're so evolutionized in our thinking, we should all be at a place where, listen, all of us deserve respect. It should be that's like, Oscar, that's like common sense.
Common sense is not common anymore. I've come to grips with that. It's like, all right, it's a good, it's a good place to start, but it's not common. People do not have common sense. And again, is that by design?
Well,
when you're taught different things, when the same newspaper can put out the same subject and have a different headline depending on where it's being published, it's a show.
Yeah.
And you see it's the same subject, but and the reason I trust nobody, and besides growing up in the Bronx, is like, who is the? My whole thing is this: who's going to make a buck on this?
Right.
That's my first question. As soon as I hear a news story, it's like, okay, who is going to make a buck on this?
But think about it this way, right? I remember when it used to be where it was absolutes. When things were put out, it was absolutes. Fish is good for you, right? Remember
Until
that?
it's not.
Like beef, beef. You can't eat too much beef, right? It's got iron and stuff. Then the Atkins diet came out. Oh, if you eat only meat,
Yes.
you're good. Yeah, it's healthy. You lose weight, be in shape. Yeah. Turns out that was a crash, right?
Right.
And then, so now fish has too much mercury in it.
Right.
So now you got to watch out for the fish. And you're going into this slope of, okay, beef, fish, chicken.
And then we had butter. Butter's bad. Go to margarine. And then they went, oh God, margarine. Ants won't eat margarine. Hello. So who do you listen to? Again, it's like, wait, let me use the common sense factor. Like, okay, thanks for your opinion. Let me look that up. And the way yeah, that doesn't make sense. Thank you.
So again, this is where it comes down to, you have to say to yourself, who do I want to be in this? Right? Let me do my own research and really find a definition, because look at it this way. You cannot say you know who you are if you have the wrong information. We cannot. We can't say, I can't say my name is Phil and this is who I'm about, if I never really examined really what I want to be about. I've never had the choices or the information to say, yeah, I feel inwardly, in my heart, in my spirit, I feel like I'm drawn to this, right? But if I have all the wrong information, I have built a house on some
sand.
very
really bad sand, really wet South Jersey sand. Sorry.
But it's the truth. It's like you really kind of like set yourself up to fail because you believe all of if it's propaganda, if it's like, lies from the get-go, right?
TV programming. Why is it called programming? Hello.
Programming. Yeah, you need to change it up. You need to like really just kind of smash that thing down and say, you know what, I'm going to change my perspective. I'm going to find the right information, because anything, here's what I believe. Anything that causes you to hate someone else, right? You can hate food. I think
that's coming from the head, though.
Yeah, well, it's not
here.
It's right. It's primarily built on wrong information. Most of the people I know that hate somebody, it's like they got the wrong information, and it's because it's a BS. Yeah,
that's
and
belief system. Yeah,
and it's like you have, because you have the wrong information. I found that most of the people, if I go beyond just my feelings, right? Like, let's say you say something to me, and I just, because you meant it one way, right? And I'm already emotionally jacked up.
You got the colored sunglasses on that is filtering stuff through what you see. Yeah.
Right. So my filter is like,
texting
what does he mean by that? What does he mean by that? And so I don't understand what you mean, but I'm going to interpret it how I feel it's for me. So I stopped talking to you for like 200 years. While you don't even, you're walking around
almost
going,
as old as I am. Yes.
I knew it all along. You 200-year-old man. And you think about it, you're like, we have these different spats because a lot of times we don't know where each other is coming from.
This is why
texting have that conversation.
Sucks.
What's that?
When you text, you don't have that voice inflection.
Right.
I can type you're crazy, and it could be, hey, you're crazy, or you're crazy. So depending
Yes.
on what you interpret it, that's what you're going to read. And what are we're in a society, everything is text now. So the ability to read it the wrong way goes up exponentially.
Sometimes it's best to go old school.
Yeah.
Have a conversation. Pick up the phone. Talk to somebody.
Yeah.
I was listening to, I was watching a program. They said people are breaking up in text now.
Yeah.
It's over. Oh,
So man,
like,
wow. I'm sorry, but I did it over a phone call way back here. But it's like, it's not working out. Let's take care.
But I'm just saying, at least you call.
That's true.
Some people are finding out that they're broken up on Facebook.
And you lost your job on Facebook.
Yeah, well, didn't you see it on Facebook? Like, no, I didn't see it on Facebook.
That's a real. Some girl got a job and she badmouthed the place. She goes, "I got a job this way. This place sucks." Blah 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 blah. Instantly, it went to the guy that was hiring her.
Wow.
And they wrote on your page, "Listen, have a great life, but I don't think you're going to be starting here tomorrow." So,
again, how did you feel about that?
That's called the Darwin effect. You basically shot yourself in the foot, and that could be a whole nother topic. The use of texts and how it can shoot you in the foot if you're not used to it, or social media. So tune into our next program, which is going to be social media, good or bad. Regis and Kathy Lee will be talking about this.
Oscar and Phil. What are these guys going to talk about today? Let's walk away with something because we're about to close out. Okay, so what are some of the things, if you should have 5 things that are building blocks for a strong identity, what would those 5 things be?
There's only one that I know of, which is, using the analogy of a car, your windshield is this big. Your rear view mirror is that big for a reason. Stop looking back there. Yesterday does not exist. Like, Phil, I need you to work an extra 2 hours yesterday. Doesn't happen. It's gone. It's done. It's, if you go to Lao Tzu and the Tao Te Ching, he says, if you're living in it's on my refrigerator. I can't see that far though. Basically, if you have anxiety, you're living in the future. If you're depressed, you're living in the past. It's like, live in the now. That's all we have, and change it from now. You can't spend $5 tomorrow, and you can't earn an extra $5 yesterday. So I think my number one thing is look to where you are, how you can improve. Books, tapes, YouTube, whatever it is, find out what is missing and move forward. Forget about what happened in the past. It's like, it's not there. You can't spend that, you can't work that extra 2 hours yesterday. So my number one thing is live in the present. Okay. And whatever it takes for you to find out how to do that, Google, how do I live in the present? You'll get, 65 million answers in a third of a second. So just click on one of those and run with it. But, these two crazies on this channel, we're just talking about it. You got to do, have to do the research.
You have to do the work. Yeah. Is that it?
That's it for me.
That's all you got?
That's all I got. You need more than that? That was life. That was life changing.
See, now you know what? Listen, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give one too. Since you gave one,
okay,
I'm gonna give one.
All right. It better be better than mine, because mine was like, eh.
Yeah, no, yours was good. No, because the truth is, you can't do anything about your past. The past is gone. Here's how I put it: the past is a dream. No, the past is a memory. Right. The future is a dream. And all you have is right now. That's the only thing you're 100% sure about is your right now. Right. Because the future is not guaranteed to anybody. Right. So, but you can dream it. You can see it. You can pursue it from your now. And your past, like you said, your past is behind you. It's a memory.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it.
All right. So I got
there.
now I got number two.
Oh, what's two? What? Okay, what you got?
Thoughts become things.
Thoughts become things.
That's the only way things happen.
Wow.
Nothing has just appeared out of nowhere. Everything's been a thought. It's like, hey, I need a cell phone. We don't have cell phone. I'm going to think up how to make a cell phone. A fork. You know, some guy burned his fingers in the cave one day and said, you know what? I need to think of something that so I don't burn my damn fingers. You know, this woolly mammoth is pretty hard to hold. So I know.
He probably got mad at the guy that made the fire.
Yeah. And, you know, some poor guy is freezing his butt off in the cave. It's like, I need some fire. So thoughts become things. So what are you thinking? Are you thinking, man, my life sucks? There you go. So the universe is a bank that will give you with interest what you ask for.
That's a great one.
And people don't know they're asking for the wrong things. Oh man, I can't afford it. The universe says, that's right. You can't afford it. It's like, man, I hate my job. That's right. You hate your job. You know, oh, this relationship is going down the tubes. Okay, there you go. So
you know what? My one would be, you know, don't be afraid to be a copy until you find your original self, right? Yeah. Because if you're struggling with something, there's somebody that traveled that journey already. And if you can find out who that person is, they can teach you how to avoid mistakes they've made.
What we're taught to follow the followers, though.
Oh yeah. Well, see now. Here's the thing. I mean, here's the thing. You need a runway. I would say you need a runway. You need a starting point, right? Because you can't fly until you take off. You got to have that little momentum, building up of momentum, right? So it's like if somebody has already flown, right? They've been flying and landing, you know, for a period of time already. They can teach you the basics of flight. As far as destination, though, you choose your destination.
All right. Once you're up there, it's fine. But it's that taking off and landing part. That got to get that right. You got one chance on the landing. You take off.
That's it.
A bunch of times. The landing, one chance. Like they say,
one chance. Yep.
If at first you don't succeed, parachuting is not for you. I saw it on eBay. Parachute, never use, small stain. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, man. Listen, parachuting. Yeah, sometimes you need that emergency bailout.
There you go. I will never be jumping out of a perfectly good plane, so don't worry about it. No, that's not happening.
You know, you're going up in the air, you're like, I'm flying. No, I'm not flying. I'm not flying.
Well, listen, if somebody takes me parachuting, I will be the first one out of the plane. Guaranteed. About 5 seconds before that sucker takes off, I'm jumping.
So you'll be one of those people that are like, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can't do this.
Not today. Yes.
Get me out of this plane. Yeah. So
I got that survival thing going on in the thing.
What's that?
I got the survival thing going on in my brain. It's that Bronx thing. I'm like, yeah, that's not a good idea.
Oscar, man, this was great. This is awesome.
It's been a pleasure as usual.
Absolutely. We thank everyone for watching. We hope that you have a walk away from this. You know, take what we say. Even though we're laughing, we're having fun. You know, this is really great information to have. Some of the stuff we learned the hard way. And so, you know,
we're flattening that curve for you.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, if you can change your mind, you can change your life, and that's as clear as it is. Make sure you get the right information. Make sure you line yourself up with the right train of thought, and you will get to where you are going. You know, a lot of us just running on misinformation, and we end up in the place we don't want to be. Go into the place that you want to be. Hang around the folks that you want to be like. Don't hang around folks that aren't going anywhere, because them not going anywhere will kind of like tie you into not going anywhere either.
Right.
So
That's what we said earlier. Don't shrink. Stop shrinking to fit in places you've outgrown. Once you start
Yep.
thinking above the crowd, get ready for it. You got
That's
to you got to grow that elephant skin, because
that's that
nobody
eagles and
wants you-
chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, eagles and chicken.
I have
Yeah.
chickens, by the way, but that's a different story.
You know this. You know this. People don't eat eagles, but eat
No.
chickens.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, or maybe somebody does eat eagle, but you know, we don't want to talk about that.
That's an old joke that I'll tell you off the air.
Just to let you all know, that's illegal. Do not eat eagles.
You don't want to. Yeah, it's you don't want to, because illegal. That means that's a sick bird.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Focus on You with Phil and Oscar, sponsored by Tom Estes, who is an Allstate agent. Please support his business as he's supporting us on the line. And we will see you guys next week. Thank you for watching the program. Please let us know. Give us some response in our messenger, or email us. You saw our information, so go for it. Like, share with a friend if you think it was helpful, and we
if
will
you
see
didn't
you
like
guys
it,
again.
share it with someone you don't like.
Yeah, there you go. If you
No
didn't
such
like,
thing
yeah,
as bad
exactly,
publicity,
right?
Phil.
Your enemies would love this. All right. Take care, guys.